All right, I'm just gonna stay over here instead of standing right in front of it. Oh. Okay. I know a few of you, but you don't know me. I'm Hayleigh from Rapid City, South Dakota. I just graduated last year with my bachelor's in exercise science and a minor in nutrition. I also played soccer and I was a captain for the SDSU women's soccer team. I am currently at SDSU pursuing a master's degree in nutrition and dietetics. My family up top, I have 3 sisters, a twin. If you guys are wondering. Okay, let's see. Okay, so the main reason I'm here is to talk about the nutrition and dietetics program. So a lot of people don't understand the difference between nutrition, a nutritionist and a dietitian, and there's actually a significant difference. A registered dietitian is a nutrition expert with a graduate degree from an accredited program. You also have to complete 1,000 hours of supervised experience, usually under an actual registered dietitian, and you can go through a clinical setting or community or food service sites, and then you have to pass a national board exam as well to earn your license. A nutritionist is very different. It could be any person that is passionate about nutrition, no degree or certificate required, no supervised practice hours, and the individual does not have to pass an exam. Basically, because I got my minor in nutrition, I could say that I'm a nutritionist. My dad, who is an electrician, could say he's a nutritionist just because he's passionate about food. It could be anybody. And so that's why it's just really, you have to be very specific with who you're going to reach out to about certain information that involves nutrition. And that's the controversy between the two different career paths. Yeah. So going into the different careers in dietetics, it kind of seems like it's very oh, okay, I'm just going to work in a hospital, but there's actually a lot of different opportunities. You can do hospitals or clinics or healthcare facilities, which are going to inform different patients, which could be, working with kids in pediatric dietetics or working with cardiology. There's a bunch of different fields within working in a hospital setting. Sports and nutrition and corporate wellness, that's the one that I'm most interested in. And that's obviously with my background in exercise science is kind of why I pursued that as well. And then there's different businesses and industries. I've met a few dietitians that work in a private practice and they kind of just meet with people on their own time, community and public health, and then university or medical centers working as an instructor. So talking about the nutrition and dietetics accelerated grad program that I'm currently in at SDSU. So people that might be interested in the program is literally anyone in nutrition, health, and wellness. They're wanting to improve the health of individuals, families, or their community. The program, it is a 3-year bachelor's and master's. It's technically a 5-year program if you were to start as a freshman. But the way that I entered it, because I started as a 4-year exercise science degree, I have 3 years and I will earn a bachelor's and a master's within the 3 years. Having a second bachelor's degree doesn't it's cool, but it also the main goal is for me to get my master's so I can take my board exam. The program also allows me to get my 1,000 hours of supervised experience in practicum and internship. So I'll start practicum next year and then I'll do internship my final year through the schooling. So I don't have to seek out other internship opportunities outside of that. And then the applications are open now. Priority deadline is April 1st, and then the last final date is August. So if anybody's interested, it's open. The program eligibility, you just need a GPA of 3.0. Science GPA is 2.5 on a 3.0 scale. Prerequisite courses have to be a C or better, and then all nutrition courses need to be a B or better, and then prerequisite courses just have to be completed before the fall of the start of the year. Because you're coming in from a different school, there might be a few courses that you have to take. I had to take 1 class this summer before starting the program in the fall. It's really not that big of a deal. It happens they have a lot of transfers that kind of come in through the 5-year program. So it's very common, but not that big of a deal. So this is the program breakdown. It kind of seems like a lot, but you have to keep in mind that it is a bachelor and a master's program combined into 3 years. So it is kind of a lot of credits. Some of so I made it through fall 1 so far, and some of the ones that kind of stand out that you wouldn't really see here. Nutrition assessment was one of my favorites. It gave you a really good overview of what a dietitian does. We went through like all the tests that you would run on a patient to see if they're malnourished, or what we would work on to like start providing like nutrition care, kind of like a very intro course to medical nutrition therapy. Another thing that was super interesting to me, we have food service operations and food principles, and then down here we have quantity food production. So half of the RD exam is food service. The other 40% is clinical, and then the other is just other information. But as much as like you might not like food service, it's a really big part of like community and school health and wellness. And so this program does a really good job at like introducing you to that. So right now I'm in the second part of the semester, and a big portion is quantity food production and food principles. And so part of that, we plan a meal, and we plan a meal on Monday. We do the shopping, we do the costing, the budgeting, and we run a restaurant on Tuesdays for 45 minutes. And then we have a whole production team, and we do it every single week. Each team, there's 3 people in a team, and you're in charge of like buying all the food, costing it, and basically trying to make a profit on it. And you are in charge of everyone else in the class and making sure that they have a role throughout the whole period and everything. It's not what you would expect. Like, it's honestly just so shocking because you're basically running a whole restaurant all by yourself for a whole week. And so it's a really cool experience because you just like don't think of all these like little things that would happen when you're running a restaurant. So that's what I'm in right now. One of the courses I'm in. It's very interesting, and I'm learning a lot. And then within the next year, we'll do medical nutrition therapy and practicum. And the reason that they kind of tied those together is because medical nutrition therapy is when they finally start talking about how can you use nutrition to help somebody like better their lives, like make them healthier, live longer. And they tied that with our practicum because we will get to like go to hospitals and actually like see patients like use different nutrition tools to like help themselves and like obviously live longer and stuff. So that's why they tied those two together with our second year in the program. And then our third year gets a little complicated because that is when we're in our internship. And so your internship, you can be located in anywhere in South Dakota, but you're also taking a few credits. They're all online though, so you're not required to like be in the Brookings area. The first semester is in the summer, like the first semester of the internship. So you'll have advanced medical nutrition therapy and nutrition and human performance. The second semester is public health nutrition, and then the third semester is evidence-based analysis. And then going into more details about our practicum and internship. For practicum placement, it's every Tuesday and Thursday, and either on Tuesday or Thursday, you'll be placed at a hospital in Sioux Falls. You'll be at the Avera McKenna Hospital, or you'll either be at the Sanford USD Medical Center. And then the other day, whether it's Tuesday or Thursday, you'll be at like a campus or community site in Brookings. So you'll get to do hospital clinical experience and then community and wellness experience. And we'll do that for the whole year next year, tied in with our medical nutrition therapy to kind of get that, like, you're seeing it in the classroom and then experiencing it outside of the classroom. And then for our internship placement, you can be in Sioux Falls, Mitchell, Yankton, Watertown, Brookings, Sturgis, or Rapid. It's 30 weeks at all the various sites. It's 24 to 32-hour weeks, and the internship is not paid. Just putting that out there. It's unfortunate, but that's just, you have to get those hours in to pass your exam. So it's kind of nice that you're doing it while you're in school. You're going to have a preceptor, someone like looking over you. It's usually 11 weeks at a clinical setting, and then 7 weeks at food service, 5 weeks at a school setting. WIC is 2 weeks, which WIC is women and children. Indian Health Service is 1 week. SDSU Extension is 1 to 2 weeks, and sports nutrition and wellness is 1 to 2 weeks. We're actually really lucky that we have 1 to 2 weeks at sports nutrition and wellness. Before I got into the program, they didn't have any sports nutrition at all. So it's definitely growing. I hope that it continues to grow and we get more time in sports nutrition, but this is what we have right now. So we're making progress. Yeah, so those are kind of all the placements and stuff. There's like, you're most likely going to get your top place. There's really no reason that you wouldn't, but yeah. All right. Any questions? Kind of a lot of information pretty fast, but.
And you get to kind of choose where you do your placements and everything?
Yeah, so she'll ask us like kind of what our top 3 picks are. For a lot of people, they usually choose like somewhere close to home if they want, because like the fact that we're not getting paid and you're working 32-hour weeks on top of taking courses, they like if they live in South Dakota, they might want to move home or something like that. We only have, so this actually like indicates how many spots we have in each section. So like Brookings, we only have one spot. And like Sioux Falls, we have a ton. And so like people could still live in Brookings and commute every day. It's just hard when you're working a, 9-to-5 job and commuting every single day to Sioux Falls. So there's a lot more spots in Sioux Falls just because of all the hospitals available there. But there is, I also believe, a lot more opportunities in Sioux Falls. And I think that's why they have more people try to go there.
How many people are in your class?
There's 14 in my cohort. They accept 20 every year. This is actually the second year of the way that this course is formatted. Before, it was a 4-year bachelor's degree and then a 2-year master's. And then they switched over to this like 5-year accelerated program. So yeah, I just missed the cutoff. If I would have graduated a little sooner, I would have just had to do a 2-year program, but it's okay. Learning both, but yeah, so they just switched to this format. But I think it's nice, a little mix of both classes and stuff. Yeah, so there's just 14 of us, and it's all girls right now. We don't really have any males in the program at all, so guys, if you're interested, let's get in there. But yeah, that's another cool thing. So we were just talking about it previous, but there's a company in Brookings called Be Well, and they're opening a new performance center called 4A, which is for athletes, and it's going to be strength training for 3rd grade up to collegiate level. And with my exercise science degree, I just got hired as a performance coach, but they're actually hiring on a full-time sports dietitian, so I'll have the opportunity to work with her since I'm working under a dietitian and going to school for nutrition, so I'll get to work with her. So it creates pretty cool opportunities, and I think it's like a super interesting field. And you guys have any questions or yes?
So like you're able to do all this and work at the same time. Like what does that look like?
It's definitely difficult, but I'm working 2 jobs right now, and I'm making it. I would say that it's not as much coursework. It's a lot more exams and studying, and so it's just kind of how you manage your time, which I would say being an athlete really prepares you for it, because now I'm able to like know when to focus on school and know when I have to study, but then I'm able to like keep a job at the same time just because you are aware of when you have practice and trying to get your stuff done. And so I'm able to work and stuff, and it will be a little more difficult next year just with practicum and stuff. But the fact that, so we'll be in Sioux Falls either Tuesday or Thursday, like you'll get to ride with your cohort there. So it's not like you're always driving by yourself and using your own gas. And I work at the Sanford Children's Hospital on the weekends, and I commute to Sioux Falls, and I'm able to work on the weekends and then help out with this Be Well thing too. So it's definitely possible. Almost every girl in my program has a job or 2, and so it's definitely possible. And our advisor and program director, they're very understanding of people working, and they really try to help you get jobs. And that's actually how I got that job at the Sanford Children's Hospital. They put that stuff out there for you. So yeah.
I know you kind of talked about like the different job opportunities. You could work in a hospital or anything, but what's the like average income? Because I know that's a lot of people curious about like what the income's going to be. Is it, kind of on the lesser end of things, or?
I think what I've looked at is it usually starting in the like most hospitals, at least for like Sanford, you're starting out between like 30 to 35 an hour. I know if you're like 5-10 years into dietetics, you can make like 40 to 50. It's more like with experience and stuff that you're going to start gaining more, which is honestly with everything. I've noticed that a lot more hospitals in like this area in the Midwest offer a lot more to dietitians than down south. They definitely don't pay as much. I don't know much for sports nutrition on that side of it. But it's definitely higher up in this area for dietitians. But I also believe that since it is a growing field, that it's going to keep going up. Just with like being in the hospital and kind of learning how like valuable dietitians are, I feel like people kind of like underlook them a lot, and it's definitely becoming a growing field because people realize how important they are. So think that's why this like program is so new and they're trying to get more people into it because they just don't, people don't know about it.
So I would like to thank Hayleigh for all the work she did trying to figure this out, because you did a lot of work last year. We kind of worked together, but she did the majority of the work, because dietetics, you used to get a bachelor's degree and now they've transitioned. Now you need a master's degree. So a lot of this stuff is new. So Haley's like, hey, I think I want to go to dietetics school. We're like, oh, wait, okay, let's figure this out.
Yeah.
So there are not a lot of master's programs. They're growing, and I think, like you said, it will continue to grow. So Hayleigh will be a great resource if anybody's interested in that direction. So thank you, Hayleigh.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. And I do agree with you. I think they're really undervalued. The bad rap about nutrition and dietetics are, the science is so much bigger than a nutritionist. So like she said, you know, her dad, who's an electrician, could put on the internet that he's a nutritionist.
Yeah.
So we really need to kind of get rid of that stigma. People are paying money to a nutritionist, and do they know what they're doing? You know, you don't know. So you really need to look for a dietitian. And the other thing that, Hayleigh looked into, and if you're interested, is you really need to look at a program where you can sit and take the exam to become a registered dietitian.
Yeah.
Because there are master's programs where you can't. And if you're gonna go this route, you need to be able to sit for the exam. And remind me what's the exam, the
The national board exam, the
Yeah.
registered dietitian national.
NA,
Uh,
I'll find it. Anyway, yeah. So don't, if you're gonna go for any advanced education, make sure the program allows you to sit for that exam. That's huge. Because then your opportunities are, you can, like, everything from hospital to sports nutrition, but you need to be an RD. That's really important.
Yeah, you have to have that license. Another school that I looked into was the University of Idaho in Moscow, Idaho, and then MSU Denver also has a program too. I know there's a few more, but some of them are also really picky about that you have to come from a program with a bachelor's already. And so those SDSU, Idaho and MSU are programs I looked into that accepted my bachelor's already. So yeah, if you guys are interested, you can always reach out. I can give them my contact information, but it's a very exciting field, and I feel like it'd be really good to get some more exercise science students over there and really just kind of explore some more sports nutrition and stuff, so.
And do you think as the program grows, so like you listed, this is where you can go on your internships, but let's say you're from California and you want to go back home, do you think that have they had those conversations?
Yeah, so it's really
Yeah.
just them reaching out to the hospitals in the area and making sure there's preceptors on the site that are willing to do it. It's been easier staying within South Dakota, but they've talked to people about wanting to go other places. It's really just arranging the preceptors to make sure that they have the correct like materials to get the 1,000 hours and stuff like that. I feel like they'll be very open to it. It's just finding people that are willing to make sure the students are getting their education while they're there, especially because the program, once you're in your third year, is all online. I think they would be very open to it. I would like to see them expand to the whole Midwest, that allowing people to like have the opportunity to go anywhere in the Midwest at least, to just try different things would be nice.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping it's only the second year that the program, so I am assuming it'll keep expanding.
Right.
So, and she even said after this being like the second year, they've already gotten more preceptor sites in South Dakota. So I would assume it's gonna start, I'm hoping it expands a little more, and maybe by the time I do my internship, it'll have expanded. So, yeah.
Sorry, I'm not.
Yeah, no, it's great.
You might have said this, but what's your like long-term goal? Like, do you want to work in a school or like with like athletes outside of like a college or like school setting, or like what's your?
I wouldn't mind like trying clinical for a little bit just to see. I do like peds a lot, but my long-term goal is a collegiate sports dietitian.
Nice.
So one thing that actually developed my interest for this is I did my internship at the University of Idaho the summer before my senior year. So it was kind of a fast switch. They had a full-time sports dietitian there for their athletes, and it was the coolest experience ever. They had DEXA scans, and they would take full body scans of their athletes, and they could know how much one leg weighed compared to the other ones, and they could make all these individualized nutrition plans, and I loved it so much. And so that is my goal. I loved working at a college and university. I loved being a part of the athletic scene. I love that. And I'm really hoping that I can help athletes. And honestly, my main goal, especially being part of like a female team, is helping female athletes with like nutrition and I guess like eating disorders, because I feel like it's a very big thing when it comes to collegiate athletes. So
That's
this
cool.
really sparked my interest in it. So yeah. That's awesome. Anything else?
Athletes here need a dietitianist.
Yeah, you can reach out. I don't know how much I can help now, but maybe in a couple of years.
In a couple of years.
Well, thank you guys for letting me come talk to you today. Hopefully I'll be back.
Come on, give her a big round of applause.